terrified. The Sharks
Go.
suddenly won. Oh, I'm terrified. The Sharks suddenly won, and you're probably wondering who is talking. Well, you're about to find out on Teal Town, USA.
The call up got a rookie lap right there, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. It is March 28th, 2023. The San Jose Sharks shut out the Winnipeg Jets 3-0 because that's so Sharks. We welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive post-game. You can do this after every game. So if you want to be part of the show, here's how you do it. Chat with us and fellow Sharks fans on the YouTube page or the app all over the world and in Sharks territory. Of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, TikTok. Find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you want to support the podcast, you can Venmo us at tealtownusa or hit us up on the Super Chat. And with that, you get to be introduced to the newest member of Team Teal Town, Jules. What's happening? How you doing?
What's up, y'all? I'm excited to be here. My name's Jules. I'm very sad the Sharks won. They are ruining Connor Bedard and my dream line of Eklund, Hurdle, and Bedard. But we'll talk about that later.
Gotcha. All right. So tell us more about yourself. How long have you been a Sharks fan? How did you get into the game?
Yeah, I was introduced to hockey through my cousins when I was very young, and now one of them bandwagon onto Colorado, because of course he did.
Of course.
But I've been following the Sharks for like for real, following the Sharks for like 2 years now. My friends call me a hockey encyclopedist. I know weird facts that I probably should not know, and I love the game. I love talking about the Sharks, even when they're ruining all of my hopes for the future. But what's new?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's a bummer for sure. So where do we begin on this one? It's great. First off, great to have you. Great to have you join us. Appreciate it. Was planning for this game and thinking, okay, Sharks are gonna get owned by Winnipeg, and they're gonna revenge the only win that they've had this month. Winnipeg's just going to come in here, clinging on to the final playoff spot in the West. I mean, Nico Niederreiter just, has pure ownage. I'm shocked it's not on the Wikipedia
How did he not
page.
get a goal? I think he has 6 goals against the Sharks this year. I was waiting for a goal in the third period, like a Nino hat trick to come back, at the last 46 seconds of the game. Like, come on.
It's either that or Erik Karlsson getting a point, or just Noah Gregor getting into a fight to complete his Gordie Howe hat trick. That would have been perfect.
Gregor scored a goal. Like, what is happening? I think he has a goal every month. He's on pace for a goal a month, y'all. 6 goals. I think maybe Reeves has more goals than him at the current moment. And points probably, honestly.
Oh, yeah. No, the points wouldn't surprise me. As you said, Gregor gets the opening goal to make it 1-0. And you're thinking, okay, plenty of time for Winnipeg to come back. Plenty of time, no problem whatsoever.
I think Winnipeg might be cursed on the goal scoring front. I think Drew was complaining about Scheifele. Scheifele does not look good right now. None of their players really look super. I think Josh Morrissey was their best player, but Winnipeg, I don't know what's happening with them. They might miss the playoffs, and they were literally, I think, top of their division 2 months ago.
It's been crazy to have Winnipeg do what it's been doing. Hell, and then Minnesota's been on a crazy run, but it's like Winnipeg and Seattle a little bit have just been going back and just fallen back a little bit, because we noticed Winnipeg was just seriously just struggling. Seattle was had first place for a long time.
Yeah. And then Vegas suddenly clamped down. I think they may have clinched the playoff spot today. Also, I forgot the scenario. It's like if they had to win a game, and they probably did. Um, but yeah, they probably clinching top of the division. Also, they're both of those teams, the Kraken and Winnipeg, have just fallen off a cliff. And I don't think Winnipeg's making it. I think Calgary's taking that spot. I think Calgary's going to heat up at the right time.
Yeah, Calgary's going to come on a little bit. Do me a favor. I hate to do this on there. Can you get that mic a little bit closer?
Yeah, for sure.
There we go.
Is that better?
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
All right. And Vegas lost 7-4 to Edmonton.
Vegas. Edmonton. They are heating up. I'm scared for when the Sharks have to play them. I'm calling a Connor McDavid hat trick on air right now.
Sure. Now that I'm eliminated from my fantasy hockey league, yeah, sure. Now Connor McGregor, McDavid will get a hat trick. Hey, Jerk, this is Jerk and AJ. This is for you and celebratory of the Sharks win. There you go. Yes, it's water, but whatever. But yeah, this was this game was pretty much the James Reimer show. I mean, 41 saves, 41 shots. I mean, he played exceptional.
Why could you have not done this like before the trade deadline, where we could have just traded you? Your trade value so low, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I will start playing well after the trade deadline. Of course, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But that paddle save was.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
God.
I mean, I'll give him stick taps for that, but that's pretty much
about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Oh my God. I will say this: Pedersen, the guy we traded, Reedy, the guy who was traded for Reedy, looked really. That setup on the Gregor goal was elite. Oof, he's going to be a player. I'm very excited to see him on the Sharks, hopefully full time next year. He's going to be one heck of a player. Him and Kaut, I was pretty impressed by tonight.
Yeah.
Thought they looked good.
And heck, LeBanc had that early goal in the third, his 13th of this season with Sturm and Gregor with a goal and assist on the night. So
I don't know when that happens, but why not?
Right. The interesting part, you mentioned Kaut's goal, and AJ, thank you very much. With the info, with an assist on Kaut's goal. Karlsson has assisted on goals by 18 different goal scorers this season, a new team record. He had been tied with 17 with Pat Falloon in the first year of the team, and then Brent Burns 4 seasons ago. Jeez, that's insane.
He's on a different. He had a lot of turnovers this game. I think Romendo was he had counted 5 turnovers. So I'm glad he's kind of pulling himself together at the end there. But I thought Karlsson had a rough game. Oh God, man, get your turnovers together.
Yeah, it was, and he's hasn't been as bad as he has been in seasons past, where he's probably nursing something.
I didn't think it could have gotten worse from seasons prior. I'd hope it's not that bad, because those last prior seasons he was just god awful. But this game I thought was one of his worst games of the season. But yeah, just turnovers galore. Luckily Reimer was on it, because otherwise I think it would have been 8-1. But
Yeah, again, James Reimer was spectacular in that. But putting everything aside with what has gone on over the last few weeks, Reimer had an epic night tonight. AJ's loving it. Breaking. Jules is an EK65 hater.
Hey, I mean, I still think he's top for the Norris, but he had a rough game. I mean, turnover galore. But who needs defense anyways? The Sharks don't know what that is. Look at their blue line. You have Vlasic on your top pair. I'm sorry. I'd rather see Thrun up there, who we will get to, but give me not Vlasic on your top pair.
Not gonna lie.
Haters, yeah. And for the haters who are he had one good play. Great. Lovely. Show me more.
I mean, we talked about it, 7:15 when the lines came out, and you're like, Vlasic on the top pair? What are we doing?
I mean, I think I tweeted this out. It's an AHL lineup except for Karlsson, Hurdle, and Couture. I think half of those guys were on the AHL literally not less than a month ago. I am very concerned the Kuhre are going to put out 2 forward lines come whenever I think they play this weekend. I don't know who they have left, and Benning also now might be hurt. So be prepared for
It's
Carlson and children.
like a freaking
All I
cheat
have to
check.
say.
I
Yeah, give
mean,
me Cechek. Give me, let's call it Mukamadulin, see what he has to bring us. Just don't give me Vlasic. If I see Vlasic again on the top pair, I'm gonna lose my shit.
oh man, she even got Mukamadulin right. Ah, crap! Shoot. Oh boy, Kevin's gonna kill me now for not getting it right. Let's go into the chat right now. Bird7F91. Have the Sharks forgotten how to lose hockey games? What the hell is Reimer doing leaving his 5-hole closed? Can't Hurdle serve up some more turnovers to help us out? We're going in the wrong direction.
I think you're forgetting they lost 9 in a row prior to this, and I think it was Hockey Jerk who's like, they're gonna win some games. Like they can't just lose their like last 10 games. That's kind of depressing. So they're gonna like statistically speaking, they're gonna have to win some games. Oh, trust me, Reimer's 5 hole will open back up. Don't expect this every night. Put Kakinen in there. The wide 5 hole will be wide open, but
James Reimer becomes the third Manitoba-born goalie to shut out either the original or current Jets. Bill Ranford in December of '93, and Ron Hextall in March of '96. I mean,
of course.
of
I
course.
mean, of, yeah. I mean, the Sharks were bound to win some games. Like we can't expect them to lose. Also, mind you, their next like three, like seven, like they only have Arizona, and then they're playing like Colorado, Edmonton. Don't worry, they will be losing more, and they will be getting their ass whipped up and down the ice come this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't worry. I know people are freaking out because they went up to like 30th on the like Bedard Tankathon thing. They still have plenty of time to lose. Don't worry. And the thing with this draft is even if the Sharks are third, you still get someone like Leo Carlson, Mativ Michkov. You're still getting a franchise corner for your, for the Sharks. So I wouldn't worry too much.
And folks, she is gonna break down the prospects over the summer. So be prepared, everyone. Be prepared.
Some of you may not like it.
Yes. Mark, you have a fellow prospect person to chat it up over the summer.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I might get a vacation. Yes. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We'll be here all summer. Heck, like I've said, and I know my girlfriend is watching, and she went to the game tonight, and she took two of her friends to their first hockey game. So Jen and Craig, congrats. Way to jinx Bedard for us. Appreciate it.
Don't go to another hockey game, please.
No. Never.
Please just stay away. Or I should just not go on the show again because apparently the Sharks win.
No.
I'm 1-0 right now.
No, Ian's like, thank God I have a night off right now.
Yeah,
so.
You don't want to cover this show? You don't want to cover this game? So much interesting things happen, like the Sharks messing up their future.
Oh. In one game. That would be something. It would be something if two things happen. If the Jets miss the playoffs by 2 points and the Sharks finished like 30th or 31st by 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the Sharks, they'll probably end up still getting like first or second overall and end up picking fourth. So like, kind of the Sharks' luck. Yeah. I hate to break it to y'all, but the Sharks do not have good luck. No, it does. It does. It does. I don't think we're ever going to be able to pick first ever.
No, and you are absolutely right. They have never picked first overall.
Nope.
Convoluted rules in '91. They didn't get Lindros. The expansion rules for Ottawa and Tampa in '92, where they could have had it. Ottawa tanked hard, which is why we have the draft lottery now. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look this up, and I'm trying to see if the tiebreaker. You got 8 games left, 23. No. Okay, so Detroit currently sits 25th in the league at 73 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the Sharks, even if they move down 2 spots, the worst they can do is 10th overall now.
Yeah. And here's the thing, even if like this draft is so stacked. I know everyone's like hyping up Bedard, and this draft is so stacked. You're still getting a franchise. So like the Sharks are not gonna like suddenly jump up to 5th. I honestly think the Sharks are gonna still be in the 3rd to 2nd range by the end of this year. I don't think I I just don't want Bedard going to Anaheim or Chicago, but like, and knowing the lottery, it'll go to Chicago, unfortunately. So be prepared for Twitter to explode.
Yeah. Yes. Abel SFG. I hope you're not driving, hun. Okay, we won't go back, Erik. Yes. Jen and Craig. Yes. Thank you. No, no. I hope you had a good time tonight in front of 10,300 at the Shark Tank. Oh, boy.
Oof, Maran.
Yeah. Burge 7F91. Hopefully the Jackets can pull off a miracle and beat the Bruins on Thursday.
No, I would not. Unless the Bruins are resting all of their players, I would not put any money on that.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Unless Kent Johnson pulls off the Michigan again.
Oh, that was sweet.
Oh, he's going to be a player. I don't want to see him and Bedard together either. That's terrifying.
Yeah. The tough part is that you see Kent Johnson, you see Matt Ebeniers doing his thing. It's got to be eating Bordelot up, even though he's struggled lately. But, VL gets a call up, Kaut gets a call up, Agazino is called up. It's just like, what do I need to do?
I think if the Sharks were trying to win games, they would have called up Bordelot. I don't think the Sharks are trying to win games. I think Greer looks at this team and is like, Doug Wilson, what did you do? And it's just at this point trying for this year to be over. I think the Sharks, if we're trying to win games, you have Eklund and Bordelot. And I know Eklund got injured and there's still nothing new on him, which is a little concerning. But I think if the Sharks were actually trying to win, they would have called up Bordelot. Like VL's great and all. He's not. I don't think he's staying past this year. I think he might be one of the Group 6 UFAs. Don't quote me on that. I don't think he's staying. I know he's Greer's type of like, let's fight and be hard to play against. I think they're not trying to win games. The Sharks know where they're at, or at least I hope they do. Because
Right. It'll be interesting to see if the Barracuda are out. I wonder if it happens, for Bordelot to get up here. It's just even if it's a game, just to get him up here for what he had early on in the season. But granted,
I don't know if the Barracuda are making the playoffs at this point. Like that's like they've had a rough year, which is kind of rough because you look at this like that was like supposed to be the exciting part of the Sharks this year.
Yeah,
and both teams have just kind of been a pain to watch at times.
Yeah, Uncle Danfy agreeing with Ricky Bartenslager. In the case of let me Ricky's first. The problem is if you finish above 31, you can potentially fall to 5.
Yeah.
And there's a drop off between 4 and the next 2, and Will Smith and Zach Benson. Uncle Danfy also is agreeing with him, but we need to finish last. GD, can't afford to drop out of the top 3, preferably top 2.
No,
Anaheim and Chicago are too close. Sharks could blow this, and you're right. You have a lot of the CUDA on the roster already. Just because of injuries, we still haven't seen. Why am I blanking all of a sudden? Gadjevich.
Yeah.
Since he had a fight in Washington, you have Johnson who got injured, Sveshnikov who got injured. It's tough because you're just decimating what you have in the CUDA at least right now.
Yeah.
So.
And I honestly think the Sharks will finish second or third. Like, honestly, if I think they're maybe winning one more game this season. I think this is an absolute one-off of a game. Mind you, the Jets are also horrible. Like, they're genuinely awful. Like, I don't know what happened to the Jets. Like, something in that room is so off. But, like, I don't think the Sharks are winning more than one game, which is why I'm not super worried. Like, if they suddenly go on a winning streak, then I'll be concerned about them maybe landing, like, Zach Benson or Will Smith. But I genuinely don't think the Sharks will finish either second. I think they'll finish second or third. Hopefully first. I know we all want Bedard, and that will be awesome. But I really don't see the Sharks winning more than one game to end this year. Sorry, y'all.
No, I mean, it's... But seriously, I mean, what they have? Vegas on Thursday.
Yeah.
They go to Arizona on Saturday. Then they have a pair against Colorado for their next 4 games. I mean... It's tough. It's tough to see where you get. I mean, maybe you steal Arizona, but Arizona's been on a run themselves, especially at home.
Arizona's impossible to beat at home. I think maybe they squeak out a win like maybe versus Vegas, and I don't even think so. So like I'm not too worried about the Sharks like going on a winning streak. This is a one-off game. This is the anomaly. I'm not too worried about that. If they win the next game, then I might be concerned. Sure.
Yeah, right.
Let them win 2 games in a row before we all freak out.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, Zach Benson is a good player. I think Locked On Sharks did something where he was compared to like Braden Point. Zach Benson is still really good. I know it's not like your Adam Fantilli or Connor Bedard, but Zach Benson is still a legit franchise player who the Sharks need in their prospect pool.
They need anything in their prospect pool right now, let's be
They need
honest.
just anything that can shoot a puck right now in their prospect pool, other than Eklund and Borgson, maybe Gushin.
Yeah. And Gushin, I mean, you're hoping all those kids just flourish down the road to get something on there, Uncle Damphy, Bedard, Fantilli, or Carlson, or bust.
No, and yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I mean, you're not. They just need something. Like the Sharks need a franchise center to roll with for the next like 15, 20 years, and they can have that in this draft if they don't mess this up. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed indeed. Sharks, the count goal was a power play goal to just finish off the scoring. 41 save shutout for James Reimer. The Jets power play goes 0 for 3. I mean, if you're Winnipeg, you are hurting. It doesn't help that, Minnesota has been on a roll lately before they have to deal with cap hell, or
Yeah,
buyout cap hell coming up. I mean, this is kind of like a little bit of a window open for them.
yeah. But the thing
Uh,
is, The thing is with Minnesota, they have prospects that just have been on a roll on their ELC, and I think Boldy's like giant contract doesn't kick in, so like they're not like struggling because they have prospects who've come in and just absolutely demolished the league on entry level deals, and the Sharks when they needed it didn't have that. That's also something to point out.
yeah, big time. So,
Yeah.
Sharks win. This is weird to say. That's their second win of the month, and they can only beat Winnipeg.
No, yeah, they can only beat Winnipeg, so everyone be happy we're not playing Winnipeg anymore.
Yes.
Um, or Seattle because that was I think our last. I think our last. This was our first regulation win since our last shutout win, which was versus Seattle, which was 4-0. So the only times we've won in regulation in the last 2 months have been shutout victories, and I think James Reimer was in net for both of those.
Of course he was. Of course.
Of course.
Hashtag that's so Sharks.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Let's see here. So yeah, that's kind of just off for that one. Yeah. Yeah, they end their 9-game home winless streak. They end
Hey,
their
they could have
9-game
made
winless
history.
streak.
They could
Yeah,
have made history
if
if they lost 10.
they have never lost 10 in a row at home. Uh, but it is their 7th win, so they're one win away from tying that wonderful 92-93 team with 8 home wins.
I don't think they get it, but one can dream because I honestly don't. The Sharks have been so awful at home, and this game is an anomaly. I will be shocked if they win one more game at home this year. Again, I know I might sound like a hater, but like if you look how this team is set up right now, I don't believe they can beat any of the teams ahead. And Winnipeg has just fallen off a cliff. So like no team that we're playing in the next week or two have fallen off a cliff. So I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, I'll be stunned if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really.
And as we say this, the Sharks will go beat Colorado. So
Oh yeah, no, they'll beat them
100%.
back to back.
Yeah,
Because of course they would. Because
of course.
again, that's so Sharks.
Jeff Viel gets a hat trick. There you go.
Okay, we got 14 points going for Jules if that's the case. If heck, if Viel scores one, it'll be something else.
People are gonna clip me saying Sharks are not winning a game, and then they'll win all of their next 10. Please,
And,
I don't. Please, but
and
Sharks hockey, baby.
And then your Twitter will be blowing up. And then what happened?
Yeah,
Right?
I'll be the jinx of the Sharks.
Oh boy. All right. Well, let's get to our newest segment. We'll do it 3 times for the Tankathon. I know everybody loves it, and now it's going to be interesting just because it now that the Sharks are in the number 3 spot. All right, we'll do this 3 times. First one, oh great,
Oh,
Anaheim
Jesus.
wins, and
Mitchkov and
yeah,
Anaheim gets Bedard.
yeah,
No, absolutely not.
no, we don't want that. Let's do that one more time. Detroit,
Okay.
Detroit moves up 8 spots. Maybe you can convince them to take the Fantilli and flip the spot and give them 28. I don't know.
I would like to point out Fantilli's not bad either. Like in a normal draft year, Fantilli would go first overall
Right.
in any other draft year. This draft year is just ridiculous. So if the Sharks somehow lose on the first overall, we're still getting a superstar in Fantilli. Like Jack Eichel is probably the equivalent to Fantilli. Oh, Jesus. Well, then
And then Montreal goes from 5-1. Anaheim moves up 2. Sharks go down to 5th. That might be the night.
that's the worst scenario.
Yeah.
At the current moment.
So that's what they're at right now. But that's the current standing right now. The Sharks get with the win go up to 55 points. They're now 2 ahead of Columbus and 1 ahead of Chicago. So those 2 drop back. Anaheim at 56, just 1 point ahead at the moment. So we'll see how it goes indeed for that one. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. We're already counting down. Only 40 more days till the draft lottery.
Yeah.
And remember, join us if it's not already marked on your calendars, and we'll wait for it to come. But May 8th, 4 p.m., check us out on the YouTube channel. We'll be having a live reaction, myself and Ian. I wonder if I will be making... so here's the thing. The San Francisco Giants play in Toronto the week of the draft. But I've also said if we win the draft lottery, we should go to Nashville. So we'll see what happens. We'll see which trip I'm planning. That one.
If the Sharks win a draft lottery, I'm immediately going to buy a Bedard jersey.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, right off the bat. I'm sorry. I'm spending however much money that is. Sorry, Mom and Dad. I know you're watching. Immediately buying a Bedard jersey.
Heck yeah.
Sharks. Yeah, that's May 8th, everyone. We'll all be shaking our boots.
Yes.
Bedard to the Sharks.
Yes.
Bedard to the Sharks.
Yes.
Also, I'd like to point out the Ducks' schedule for the next few games is not even close to as hard as it's almost, they're playing the Kraken, Oilers, Flames, Oilers, Coyotes, Avs, Canucks, Kings. So even the Ducks' schedule is also very hard, I'd say, for the next 10 games. So just keep an eye on that, because I don't think any of those teams have easy schedules to end off the year.
Yeah, they're going to be up there. We talked about Columbus on the Pucknologists, how their schedule is pretty hard.
Yeah.
San Jose just as hard. I think Arizona is the only team that's currently out of the playoffs. So, Mikey J. Reimer did make one of the saves of the year in the league. Yeah, the paddle save was
Paddle save Emporium, according to Steve Dangle.
Yes.
Paddle save Emporium.
Are you a Dangle fan?
Yeah, I do love Dangle, except I feel so bad for him because the Leafs might be cursed. We'll see if they can get it this year, but we'll see. Not betting against Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Even though they're struggling.
Yeah. No, Tampa's struggling, but they're just waiting.
Oh, they did this last year, and everyone was like, Tampa sucks. And I'm like, no, they're Tampa.
Yeah. Tucker, unbelievable. Stop this winning thing.
Oh, no, Tucker, it won't last for too long. When you have Vlasic on your first pair versus the Avs, it's a very different story. Or versus McDavid. But Vlasic did have one of his vintage plays, and I was like, oh, that's nice. All right. Are you trying to prove me wrong?
Of course. Trying to prove that, I am a top 6, or I am a top 2 defenseman.
Yeah, no. Hey, maybe it'll bump up his trade value, because whoever plays with Carlson is out the door. So maybe they're trying to trade Vlasic.
Very true.
Maybe they're trying to trade Vlasic, get his trade value up.
Montreal.
Hey, Arizona. Knock, knock.
Montreal, if you're watching, we have a great defenseman. He
Will
speaks
you give us
French.
Lane Hudson? Lane Hudson, why not Vlasic for Hudson? I think it's fair.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Montreal will be like,
Oh, hell no.
I know, AJ. Oh, hell no. I would just be ridiculous. What's Tucker's saying, and we can do this on the fly here. What's Chicago's schedule look like?
I'm scared to look at that.
Yeah, you do that while I
Oh,
check to see what is going on here in the chat. Uncle Damphy, love to see Boston Toronto for good old times. Oh man.
Oh, please. I'd love those series. Okay, so the Blackhawks oh god. They have the Blues, Devils, Flames, Canucks, Kraken, Wild, Penguins, and Flyers. So they have it easier than like the Sharks and Ducks, which is why I'm less concerned about Chicago. But still, like they might squeak out a win versus like the Flyers and Canucks, and that's about it. Maybe Flames, but Flames seem to be going on a heater right now.
Yeah, the Flames are trying to make a push. You know,
Yeah.
they're so for the playoff race. I know playoffs.
What are those?
I know that I haven't felt that since Timo Meyer handed it over to Nyquist and then Carlson game 3.
Yeah.
Winnipeg is at 85 points. Nashville, wow, that's weird. Okay, but Calgary's at 83. Nashville's at 82. So,
I'd like to point something out. Cody Glass is Nashville's first-line center. Last time I checked, Cody Glass, and they are somehow still in the race.
It's just crazy. But they lost Matt Duchene over the weekend, so that's gonna be a big blow for them, especially if they get in. But hey, they pulled off a big upset with beating Boston earlier tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes down.
Calgary has 83, Winnipeg has 85. I don't think Winnipeg's making it in. I think Calgary's taking that spot. I mean, they looked horrible tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they looked god awful. Josh Morrissey was their best player, but like it's like saying Erik Karlsson is the Sharks' best player like almost every night, but the rest of the team looks god awful. So like, you know.
Yep. Jerry and earlier John Swenson, thank you very much for your Venmo donations. Any donation to the show helps support the show and the site and all the bills that go with it. So we appreciate that immensely. So big time. Let's talk about Henry Thun. Thank you, Uncle Damphy. Got his first practice in, his first ice time in San Jose. He didn't get to skate too much with the team, but what do you think of Thrun and most likely making his NHL debut Thursday against? Oh, we're just throwing you against the Vegas Golden Knights. No pressure.
Casually. No, I like Thrun. I think this was the thing I have to give Greer credit for is he's really good with asset management. Like just flat out, he's really good with his asset management, and he's reloaded the Sharks' defensive prospect pool. So I really like Thrun. He's not going to be like a Cale Makar. Don't get that high of expectations. I think he'll be a solid defenseman for the Sharks. I didn't really watch him a lot at Harvard, but he seems to be a guy. He might be another guy in the guy factory, but we'll see what happens. I think with defensive prospects, you kind of have to just give it time. So I'm not going to go on here and be like, he's going to be amazing. No, I mean, I think the Sharks also, their scouting director knows the NCAA prospects, and he's really good with them. I think he came over from Boston, if I remember correctly. So I'm excited to see him. He should be a solid add to the Sharks prospect pool. And I think what Greer's doing because they had to restock like their defensive prospect pool, you know, they had to. So they added Mukamadulin, they added Thrun. So I like him. I think it's another like dart to throw at the dartboard and see where it lands, and who knows, he might end up being the steal. But now you look at the Sharks defensive prospect pool and you feel a lot more better with it. It's not great, don't get me wrong, it's still god awful, but it's better than it was like a month ago.
Very true, very true. So we can only hope it can better. Hockey Jerk saying Thrun maybe the next Matt Carl.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm excited to see him. I just like give him an actual shot. That's all I ask. Like give him an actual chance. Please don't put him with Vlasic, or Ferraro. Like I Thrun is already better than Ferraro. You might not be wrong about that. Ferraro had a really bad season, has not been playing well, but you might not be wrong about that, honestly.
No, no.
Yeah.
You feel for Ferraro. He, comes in with a new contract extension, and just it's frustrating year. I think he just needs to stick to his what he's known for throughout the year. Plus, getting banged up. I mean, he's been blocking a hell of a lot of shots over the last few years.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. With Ferraro, I'm shocked they didn't accept whatever offer they got. I don't remember I really want to know what that offer was.
Right.
Like, I don't know how you don't accept that offer with the season he's had. I think I think he might have the worst minus on the team. I don't recall. Don't go quoting me on this, please. He might have the like worst minus on the team. He's not been having a good year. Oh, he's a minus 27. And I am correct. Oh, sorry. Vlasic is a minus 28. So he doesn't have the worst. He has the second worst. But we're comparing him to Vlasic now all of a sudden. So low bar.
Top pairing, Marc-Edouard Vlasic.
Please, never again. Quinn, I beg of you.
Just triggering Jules on her first program. So, AJ, I'm with you. I'd rather have the next pronger. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Be awesome. Jesse, why do you think, who do you think cracks the NHL lineup next year that's currently on the CUDA? I would have to think at least Bordelot and Eklund have to be on the NHL roster next year.
Okay, here's an off-board Gushin.
I liked Gushin in the preseason. I've liked what he's done in with the CUDA as well.
I think Bordelot and Eklund, those are the obvious choices, but we're talking about the Sharks here. They don't go obvious. And so like in all honesty, probably yes, it would probably be Bordelot and Eklund. But if you want an off the board, I think also Knyzhov might have a chance. Knyzhov might have a shot because he's been demolishing the AHL recently. He might have a shot. I think also Gushin is a guy to look out for. Once I think Bordelot and probably Bordelot and Eklund, but I do want to see Gushin at some point in the NHL. Maybe if not like next year, then the following year for sure. But yeah, probably Bordelot and Eklund.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, that sounds about right. And as much as you want to bring up everybody, no.
Let Robbins and that crew demolish the AHL next year without them having to share ice time with Eklund and Bordelot. Just let them demolish the AHL next year.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year next year because you're going to have the kids going to be wanting to itch and ready to go, but also you would hope, and you hope everybody stays healthy. This is what did the CUDA in, especially in November.
Yeah,
is their defense just fell apart. Mikey J. The Sharks really need an elite defense, man.
No, they really do. And like you look at any team that has won the Stanley Cup, right? Let's look at the Avs, right? They've had Makar and Girard. They have two just elite defense. The Sharks in their pool don't have that. They might have one, but they don't have two. Also, I hope we don't think the Sharks are going to be suddenly good next year. They'll still probably land a top pick the following year.
Right.
So like they're still going to be bad next year. Even if they get Bedard, I still don't have them making the playoffs. So they're still going to be bad next year. But yes, the Sharks do need an elite defenseman. They don't have that at all right now.
Oh, no. And, asking what do we do for goaltending? So we've kind of mentioned this in the Discord a little bit. Do you use that Devils pick to go after Jeremy Swayman? Do you try to sign Tristan Jarry? And as everybody's saying, please, Lord God, no, Campbell, don't just to trade Carlson. No. Yeah,
no. I saw that also with like the Sharks might have to take on Campbell's contract to trade Carlson. If you have to do that, just back out of the trade.
No.
Because that makes that's horrible. I really want them to go after Dustin Wolf. I really like Dustin Wolf and what he's done in the AHL. Like you put Dustin Wolf behind this CUDA team, you might have a completely different story. Their blue line's still god awful, but you might have a completely different story because he can steal games. And I like McInniemi, but I don't see it with him right now.
Yeah, and he's out indefinitely with an injury. You
Yeah.
have Strassman, who's been going back and forth with the Kuhre and Wichita, now more so with the Kuhre because of everything that's happened with Makiniemi. You have Ben Gaudreau, who's been playing decently for Sarnia. That's probably your best prospect goaltending-wise.
If they sign Krona, that will be your best, but I don't know if they're signing Krona. And I liked Krona, but I think he just was behind a really good team. But like if the Sharks can like use that Devils pick, I would not be too upset if they went out and traded for an elite young goaltender. Because I think the Sharks forward group on prospect is pretty solidified. They have depth. They don't have an elite franchise, but they have depth. But yeah, they need to do something with that.
Indeed. Yeah, and AJ mentioning, if the Sharks cough up another one pick for goaltending, what could go wrong? Well, hey, the last time they did it, they went to the Cup final, but no pressure. No pressure at all. At all.
I don't know what happened to Kakkonen. That's so upsetting. I mean, Middleton, I know, like, I don't know what happened to Kakkonen. That's so, because I remember the end of last year, I was thinking to myself, okay, we have something here, and this year it's just not been there for him.
Yeah, it's been frustrating. It's been sad because he's played great. He just got unlucky with not getting a win. This year, it's like, oh no, Kakkonen, no. Now I see why Minnesota traded for Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, and if Krona signs, do they send him to Europe for a year? Honestly, the Sharks have a lot of goaltenders, and their pipelines Greer kind of just went out and got all the goaltenders available. The issue is none of them seem to actually be working. I would honestly try Krona with the Kuda, and maybe Krona and Goodrow. But what do you do with like Mann? Like honestly, give Mann the backup position with Kakkonen next year and just see what happens. Like, can't get worse, right?
Right.
Right. Unless I'm very wrong, it cannot get worse.
Yeah. And Jerry F saying, only time will tell if he will sign Krona.
I'm hoping they do. I'm really hoping they do. I want to see what he can bring. He looked good in the prospect tournaments, and he looked good at his college. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed with this whole prospect pool. I mean, it's not exactly the best, but it's like, let's hope that the diamonds in the rough, turn out to be gems, of some sort. If not, used as pieces to move around to improve. Somewhere around for sure.
Yeah.
So
another thing with that, like the first pick with the 27th, I would not be too upset if they also tried to trade up to the 16th and 10th, like the 16th, 20th range, because in this draft there's also a few good defensemen who are your elite defensemen. So I'm curious to see if Greer tries to do that for them to be able to pick up one of their elite defensemen. But we'll see. This draft is just ridiculously stacked, so I don't know if a team's going to budge.
Yeah, it'll be tough. And you have like St. Louis has 3 picks. You have Nashville that have 2 first-round picks. You have the Sharks who have 2 first-round picks. Detroit 2 first-round picks. There's a lot of teams that will want to maybe move, or like combine their picks to move up. Could they want to move up a few spots? Could teams that don't have a first-round pick want to get back into the first
I'm thinking Florida. And I forgot God. Vancouver traded the first they got for Bo Horvat to Detroit for Philip Horn.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me,
I think that surprised everyone. Poor hockey guy, man. I felt bad for him.
Oh, boy.
My heart goes out to you, hockey guy. God help you and the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, jeez.
Did somebody say
Vancouver?
Somebody said Vancouver, yes. Quinn smiled on the Sharks' room, saying tight and tough year. There's no cracks here. Logan and Carl and Hurdle and Mario, they've done a phenomenal job keeping this thing together.
I mean, I do have to give credit to Logan. He's handling this year well. I mean, he's a playoff guy. He needs to be in the playoffs to perform. So I do give credit to them. I know he has his issues also, but like they have kept the room together. They seem happy. The relationship Lawrence and Lindblom has, sorry, this is off topic, but if you guys ever watch the Sharks Instagram, the relationship those two have is hilarious.
It reminds me of Hurdle and Wingles years ago.
Yeah.
Quinter
Oh,
continued on.
no.
Vlasic's done a really good job. Reimer, be easy to go through the motions. They're not doing it.
Why? I think the broadcast was starting to compliment Benning also, and I was like, I get Benning blocks shots and all, but like, no, stop. Vlasic was okay this game. I just have issues when you throw him into a top pair defensive role with Carlson. Um, I just have issues with that. I'd rather I see a young gun up there with Carlson and let him make mistakes than put a 30, however old Vlasic is, up there with one of your best defensemen or the only good defenseman.
Yeah, and kind of going off of what you said about how Couture is a playoff guy. Any thoughts on trading Couture while he still has value? Dude's a monster in the Yoffs. The Yoffs?
The cap is the issue there. He's making like $8 million. I don't know any team who can take that. Again, I think Couture has in his career right now as a third line center. I think he's gonna for any team he'd be a really good third line center. And I think if the Sharks could trade him, they would. But the cap is the issue. It's like with Carlson. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Cap.
Cap. Freaking cap. That's
Doug
not
Wilson.
In hindsight, it looked like a solid deal because he knew he's eventually going to be your captain. It's just where the team is at. And such. It's like,
and I feel bad for Couture a little just because we know what that man can do in the playoffs. He's a playoff beast. But I just don't think the Sharks can get a deal done. And it's like with everyone saying, oh, yeah, they'll trade Carlson over the summer. Carlson makes $11.5 million. Let's keep our hopes down on that.
Right.
Also, this is also a very off year for Carlson. Like, he's not going to do this again. Like, look at Roman Josi. Roman Josi was on pace for 100 points last year. He died down. He went back to earth this year. So if Greer can trade him, he's a miracle worker. But I really doubt that's going to happen.
It's got to be the perfect deal. Plus, Erik Karlsson's got the final say on it, too.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
I only really see him possibly going to Edmonton just because you look at the All-Star game and the connection him and Draisaitl and McDavid had was ridiculous. But yeah.
Yeah. Rick Bowness post game. Oh boy, this ought to be good.
What?
If some of these guys think that they're giving us everything in their tank, they're dreaming.
Mark Scheifele. That's all I have to say to that one. I mean, the Jets just played awful today. Also, what do I think of McDonald? Yeah, great. Use him for your rebuild and then get rid of him. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say to that.
All right. Sharky Boy disagrees with Vlasic paired with EK.
Okay, let me clarify this. I think Vlasic had a good game today. I just don't want to see that like on a consistent basis. He is an older, he had a good game. I don't like it for every single game.
Yeah.
He's not a top pair defenseman, but for one game, sure, go for it. Just don't give that to me every game.
Gotcha. All right. With that, I think we shall wrap this thing up. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple or Google Podcasts. You can hit us up on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, now also on Amazon Music. And of course, if you are on the YouTube channel, please hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button. Of course, hit that notification bell. That'll notify you when we do go on the air after each and every game, home and away, along with Pucknologists every Sunday night at 7 p.m. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, you can always find us at tealtownusa.com. So with that, we will wrap things up. Jules, your debut. Well, let's go to your post-game presser. What did you feel of your performance this evening?
No, I thought, I mean, again, I just love talking about hockey. Love starting fights with people about stuff that they might disagree with me on. So hit me up on Twitter. I'd gladly fight you on it. But yeah, no, I think it went well, and I'm hoping to do more shows. Yep.
We look forward to it. She is at Sharks_Jules. I am at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter, the Instagram. I'm in report with a $5 super chat. Also join us on the Twitch side. Yes. We are also broadcasting on Twitch and on Twitter as we speak. The replay, of course, will be on YouTube, so be on the lookout there. Please hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out immensely. So, Jules, your final thoughts on this evening?
Sharks don't win any more games. That's all. One off, man. If they win versus Vegas, I'll start getting concerned.
If they beat Vegas, oh boy, we're in trouble.
Also, Thrun.
Yes,
Thrun. Let's go Thrun.
looking forward to that. Most likely Thursday as the Sharks take on the Vegas Golden Knights. That is a 7:30 start. It's Y2K night. We are going to follow the theme, so look out for that. Yeah, it will be fun to do for sure. Let's give some love. Sharky boy Jules, Hockey Jerk Jules. Ian's like, I remember when I wanted to fight everyone on Twitter. Those were the days. So you're getting Jules.
Jules, yeah. No, I love it. I love it, y'all. I'm always glad to fight people on Twitter.
All this ought to be fun. All right, for Jules and myself, thanks for watching. We'll be back with you Thursday following Sharks and Golden Knights. And until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.